In this video, we'll be continuing our 3-part series on how to systematize your agency. If you missed part 1, check that out before moving on to this video. If you're interested in this sort of thing, you can check out my How to Systematize Your Agency mini course with the link down below in the description and find out if your agency is ready to systematize. In part 1, we chose our preferred project management software, we recommended Notion, identified our highest impact system and visualized that system down on paper or on a whiteboarding tool. In today's video, we'll be moving on to step 2, our second I, implement. Let's dive in. Now we have identified our highest impact system, we're ready to implement that system in our project management software tool of choice, Notion. All this means is we're going to create a database structure that allows us to track and manage all of the tasks and information that we need to support this system. Now, some systems may only require us to track these tasks inside of our general task manager. For example, if we need to do bookkeeping every Friday, we could just create a recurring task that is populated in our task manager on Friday. Other systems, however, may require us to create net new databases to support them. Looking at our fulfillment system we've mapped out here, I suggest that we create a new client database to track this process, as each of the different entries in this database will be a client as we track it along the different pipeline. So let's create that database now. I'm just going to do /Notion and create an inline database. I'm going to call it client projects, like so. And then I'm going to hide database title, remove the properties we have so far, and we're done. Now, using the stages we defined in the mapping process, we can take onboarding, delivery, and offboarding and create statuses out of them for our client database. So I'm going to go back over to Notion and create a new property called statuses. And now I'm going to change these statuses to those stages we defined. So for onboarding, I'm actually going to change this to onboard. And so that basically means when a client is inside this stage, they are yet to be onboarded, so we need to complete the onboarding tasks. Again, for delivery, I'm going to change this in progress to deliver. So if it's in this stage, it needs to be delivered. And then finally, for offboarding, I'm going to change this to offboard, like so. And now we have those statuses, we can actually create a new layout view using the board view. And I'm going to color the columns, and I'm going to make sure that this is large, and I'm going to change the grouping to not hide all of those empty groupings. And now you can see we have this to onboard, to deliver, and to offboard pipeline to track this system. So just looking at this as it's set up at the moment, this could be all that we require, as we would create a new client in here. Let's say it's Acme Co. And now essentially for our team to work on this, when it's in the to onboard status, they know they need to onboard this client, and then when we need to deliver, they need to deliver, and so essentially each of these statuses work as tasks themselves, as we know what we need to do at each status. However, for our system, there are a few more moving parts that we don't want to forget. As you can see on our process map, at each stage of the client system, we have a few processes inside of them that we could translate into tasks. In the end, we're going to have all of the tasks that we need for the fulfillment system be created automatically as they move through each stage of that system. So here are the steps to do that. First of all, we're going to relate that client projects database we've created to our general task manager. So I've just got a general task manager here. I'm going to create a relation to the client projects and add that relation. Secondly, I'm going to create a database template in the client projects database, and I'm going to create a linked view of that task database. So I'm going to hit /linked. Going to find my general task manager. I'm going to create a view, and I'm then going to set up a self-referential filter to this client projects template. So I'm going to find client projects, hit this template, and save for everyone. And so essentially what that means is each time we create a new client project, it's going to be given this template, and then it's only going to show a view of the tasks that are related to this client project. We can set this database template as default so that every time that we do create a client project, it's given this database template by default. We're then going to create a database automation that's native inside of Notion. So I'm going to come to the database itself, and then I'm going to hit these 3 dots and hit automations. And then essentially we're going to create an automation for each stage of the system. So first of all, we're going to have 2 onboard tasks. And the trigger for this is that the status is set to not all of them, but just to onboard. And then what the action is going to be is it's going to create the set of tasks that are needed for that stage. So I'm going to add an action. I'm going to add pages to. I'm going to find my general task manager here. I'm then going to edit the property, find that client projects relation, and I'm going to relate that to the page that that the automation is working on. So essentially that client projects page, wherever it may be. And so that's ready to go. And now I just need to add in the tasks. So coming back to our process map, we can see that at the onboarding stage, the invoice is paid, and then we send the onboarding email. So all we need to do is add a task to send the onboarding email. So let's add that in now. And then if we knew the person who was going to be completing this each time, we might also add them. So let's say it's me that always completes the onboarding email, and then we can hit create. And now we can see in our automations, we've got that first 2 onboard tasks automation set up. So I'm gonna do the same process for the other processes in our system. So now you can see I've successfully set up a database automation for onboarding, delivery, and then eventually offboarding. And so this is what this looks like now in practice. So our team can come in once there's a new client and add them to this Kanban board. Let's say it's ABC company. And then just by doing that, when they open up the page, you'll see we have that first task waiting for us, which is send onboarding email, and that is to be completed by me. So I can then check this off. And then once that has been completed, we may drag ABC company over to deliver. And now they know they need to deliver this new client. And so when they open up the page, you see we've then got all of the tasks or processes for this stage of the customer journey. And so we can come in and check these off. Again, these can be assigned to particular people in the team. And then finally, once that's been done, we can drag on them to offboard. And again, once we open up this page, you'll actually see this happen in real time. We'll get the send goodbye email, and then again, the send follow-up email being created automatically for us. And so we can come in here and check these off once they've been completed, and now the client has been delivered. You've now successfully completed implementing your system inside of Notion or any project management software of your choice. Now, every time you need to manage a client project, your team will have all of the steps inside of the system to complete it on a consistent basis. In our final video, we'll be moving on to our third eye, improve. This is really where the exciting stuff happens, and we can take a second look at our process map and see areas for improvement, whether that be developing the actual steps themselves, documenting so that we can unlock delegation, and then delegating to our team or to robots in the form of AI and automation. Again, if you want to speed ahead, you can download my How to Systematize Your Agency mini course with the video link in the description. Other than that, I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.